E whakawairangitia anta aramataka kia koe tāne tatokolangi. Whakawhiritia mai tara rewa kia koe tāwhiri mātea whakamāhia tia mai tara pari kia koe tangaloa. Whakapaupua mai tara tohi tū kia koe tū mātauranga.
Ana ke pānga atono nā petu o Matariki. Kia whakapai anō, te tipu o nā kai. Te rere o nā manu e nā ahuatana. Ana ia tāwhiri mātea, te hau o tāwhiri mātea. Ana, kia whakapai anō i a rātau, kia mihi atono i a rātau. O kia atono kia pūtikaua e whetu mo nā mate. I rātau ko whiturangi tia ana. He wā mai mahara no tēnei, enari, o kia atono kia hiwai tarani. Kia puta mai o tātare wawata hiahia mo te tau hau nei. Ui anō, koenei anō nā tino taki o tēnei umukuku tēnei tau.
Haumie, uie!
He tutupu anuku ko te one paraumu. Ko taku mōhio āhua tino paru tēnei wai, o Waitarakao. Ko te manako, kia whakapai anō tēnei wai, kia rere pai anō te wai. Ana kia hoki mai anō nā manu, kia hoki mai anō nā kai, nā te pātiki whenua, nā te tūna. Hoi anō, ko te manako o nā tau ko heke mai nei, ana kia whakapai anō tēnei wai. Kia puta ko te ora he tāne, koia, koia.
Te toko toko I whenuku, te toko toko I wherangi, toki atu kia.
This place is where our tipuna used to gather kai. It's a very special place. With mahinga kai, it's all about keeping everything balanced. You be a good kaitiaki on the sea, you'll be a good guardian for you and give you the kai. So to me is, yeah, you look after it and it will look after you.
Water is like the balance between the ocean and the land.
If we didn't have water, we couldn't live without it.
It helps us to be clean and be tidy.
You need water to survive, and there's lots of life in it.
You can get kaibawana, like all the fish and the crayfish and mussels.
It's part of like nature and creatures that live in the sea.
I think it's pretty important to everybody because it's a life source for every living creature. If there's no seaweed in one part, there's nowhere for the fish to hide, there's nothing for the shellfish to feed on.
There won't be enough clean water for the fish and no wildlife will come anymore.
All the birds will die because they drink out of the water.
If the water quality gets to a point where these living things can't be there, that affects not only the living things and then along the food chain, it also affects the people.
Everything that's growing in the lagoon contributes to everything at the lagoon. Like if everything's happy and healthy, the organisms are healthy and the plants are healthy. That all just kind of supports each other.
Makes me feel quite concerned and interested in the water.
Finding a place like Waitarakao, evaluating it and seeing what's needed there and what I can do as a young person to help out.
All the years of harm still repeats and like still causes so much challenges for the lagoon today, just like the way people have treated it in the past. So I think it's good for all of us to have our knowledge on what happens, what's going on, and like feeling like you're a part of something is the main thing for me, I guess.
The water is beautiful, we should be protecting it.
Tēnei te tino mihi atu ki a koutou katoa. It's a really good day for this opening. I mean, it's not too hot, it's not that cold. For reclothing this part of Waitarakao, thank you very much. This was a place where our old people would come and gather food. They would gather the kai and then they would distribute it out amongst the rest of the whānau who weren't here. And other whānau would be in different areas and they would come back and they would distribute it out like that. It was all about just grabbing the wealth and then distributing it out so that everyone benefited. A few years ago it looked horrible, but through all of your work you've laid that foundation to reclothe it. Turi whakalaua kia tīna, tīna, haumie, hui e, taiki e, no kia tahi ai, kia wāre ai. I just look over there and I see all those factories. I see that road and I see all the housing and all of that, and I know in the past this would all of it would be Waitarakao. I remember a time when everyone ate mussels, everyone ate the food that now we just say exclusively, oh yeah, that's just Māori kai. And while I acknowledge we need industry to keep this town going and to keep the families here employed and so that we have economic and social stability, it's really nice to see our young ones, our grandkids, our nephews, our nieces, our children, all wanting to do something about restoring this part of Timaru to a little bit of what it used to look like.
I'm here today because I have a huge investment in my environment. I am a part of my environment, and it is our responsibility as takata whenua to ensure that this environment is preserved for the future generations. Tūtiraki whānau, after chiselling down Aoraki and shaping him with his adze, here in Te Māhanui, he left the tuna. So a big eel. This eel comes to the call or to the aid of the environment. So for me, having that tuna show itself helped me to feel settled within myself, that what I was doing with this kaupapa was in line with how my tūpuna practiced and their expectations of me. If you have a look out here at the reef, you can see that the waves are crossing. That's due to the deterioration of the reef. This reef was created by the overflow of lava, or within the pūrākau, the uncontrollable tears of Wapori, Mount Horrible. That reef stood as a barrier, but also created a home for mussels, tawa, and all sorts of sea life, making this place a good place to live close to if you're a hungry guy. When I look at Waitarakao, I have fond memories of catching flounder down here with my father. 30 years on, I look at Waitarakao and I can no longer go and collect pātiki. Collecting tuna from here now is a little dodgy when you look at the different tohu of the environment telling you that the environment isn't stable, that the environment is in need of support and help. If we fix up this lagoon, you'd have a lot more power and you'd have the return of your rimu rapa, thick forests of full kelp that provide both shelter and food as well as stability to the reef itself.
being a part of this restoration project for me is about ensuring that Waitarakao not only is here for the future, but thrives in the future. With the children coming down and engaging in this environment, their energy, their mauri, their whenua is flowing into Waitarakao. Now if you think about a child being pure and optimistic and just ready to hunger for life, that's the energy that's flowing into this land that's right now calling out for help.
Oh look, here he is, do you want to feel it?
The tangible and the intangible are important aspects of our environment. Not only having the children walking in the footprints of their ancestors down here, whether they know it or not, that mauri, that whenua is recognised by the whenua, and it flows in and out of the whenua, through them and then back up from the whenua to them as well.
I've got a bow, I've got a stick that looks like a whale. I just got a whole bunch of shells.
It's like a little bow.
You started to see the children measuring things, questioning bits and pieces. All of the children in their own ways showed how they were able to actually connect to Waitarakao.
Yes.
You find with any group when they're starting out doing a project like this, they're all excited. They're all talking about what they're doing. But as the project usually develops, there's this sense of Kaitiakitanga, guardianship. In between that, they're still being kids. They're still laughing, they're still joking. But you ask them about their place and you watch their body language, the sparkle in their eyes when they're talking about it, and what I would call their ahua. It glows.
As soon as I saw the water from afar, it actually looked very beautiful. But as soon as I came up and I didn't see many fish, going around, or I didn't see much tuna, it was very kind of disheartening in a way.
There's a lot of mud, it looked very polluted, like there wasn't much natives, or it was just a bunch of mud and then kind of just water, not much else to see. It was quite dead.
It was filthy and it stunk and it just wasn't how it was supposed to be.
It looked really used up and just lifeless.
There was a lot of dead animals, which was disturbing.
There was heaps of rubbish everywhere.
Yeah, it just feels sad.
This is, our land. This is what we live on, and I don't want to be in an area or in a world where everything is unclean and polluted.
Yeah, we need to do a lot to make it work better.
I feel like we have the possibility to change how it's going, but also I feel like there's been a lot of damage done to our environment as a whole, but especially to the wash strike, that it's going to take a lot of time and money. Everyone has to chip in to change.
They're well aware of what they're looking at inheriting in terms of our environment. And they are really, really worried. And they have every reason to be.
Whakarewa kia papatua nuku, kawe ukune kawe uahi, kia tupu mai te wanui, humaua I te whenua, papa mahika I taka pepeke me ka manu, whakara ia Waitarakao Today is Takaroa Whakapau, which is the best day not only for planting on the whenua, but for planting in the moana. With moana tū ki te repo, this is the best time to plant with her. Today is Takarua Whakapau. Takarua Whakapau is a high energy day.
Yeah, should we take this?
We've just come out of what they call mātiti kaiwai, where it's really, really hot. What's happening in a lagoon when that's happening is all the nutrients are being sucked into the whenua, telling us that the land is ready to be planted.
Oh, just wait. Do you know what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Digging.
Digging? What are we digging? What are we going to put on the ground?
Plants.
Now, what we're doing here is we're going to be planting the manuka and the kānuka, which are the different plants you guys are holding right now. In Te Ao Māori, there's a lot of duality. So kānuka stabilizes the land, manuka supports land to, I guess, make it flourish.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Into the hole. Dump it in. Dump. Yeah.
Yes. Great job. Oh my God.
Seeing all the primary school kids, how they were quite passionate and involved in what they were doing.
Yeah, that's good.
Even the little kids had spades and
Yeah.
it was really cute.
Yeah, it was nice seeing how they really enjoyed the experience and really liked interacting with the area and wanted to help.
Good job. Nice.
The kids around our age were told to be like the big kids.
Yeah, good job.
We planted a plant together and I gave them a high five.
Yeah.
It was just cool to see them actually learning about the place, and they'll tell their friends. They'll keep on going.
Nau mai te tau iha te pāpuri tia ki te uataha kui e whakai te wai.
Our beautiful raupo mainly was using to make our waka, so moke. So they would take us up to the Ngāhere, up to the mountains to gather certain kais and then send them back down. This was one of the beautiful things about raupo. To see our young people sharing and learning about everything that pertains to Waitarakao is beautiful. One or two of them will take it and they'll be kaitiaki of that area after we're gone.
What we have here is a kelp bag, right? This kelp bag is made out of whenua. The seaweed sitting within is able to eat through and get all the nutrients it needs to latch onto a rock. The rocks out on the reefs here, they're all bare. If there's no remuruka, what's out there sheltering the shellfish? What's out there feeding and filtering the waterways? Okay, not a lot, I imagine. So today we are trying to revitalise and transfer new growth to this reef via these whānau.
You ready to throw?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready? You ready? 1, 2, 3.
The energy that they flow into those poha bags goes out into the moana. And one day they can come by and look at those rocks and see that, oh my goodness, my grandma planted all those remurakas out there. We had something to do with this. Those little bits of knowledge will come back to them. Today we've done a bit of Kaitiakitaka in the style of revitalising through transplanting and planting. Now it's time for us to nurture those things that we have planted, both tangible and intangible. What can we do with our tamariki to help them retain and practice the stuff that they've learned? I'm hoping that some of them get creative and make up their own ways of applying what they've learned here to their environments wherever they may go or be.
There was probably a number of children that hadn't actually been down here. So might have been on their doorstep their whole lives, but they actually haven't spent a lot of time down here. They're definitely interested, seeing all the boys, the little boys, the big boys with this, pick up the objects and grab, and the girls were just sort of a bit more reserved, a bit more sort of just standing back, watching, quiet. Just that chance to have a little bit of freedom and to talk and do things on their own is what they've enjoyed the most, and that's probably been the part that's had the most impact for them, I think.
The focus of the water has been an underlying growth factor, for everything else to be based on, like our connection to the water and to Waitarakao has meant that we've all gone on an extended journey of cultural awareness around that area. So it's not just, I think, for the kids, their understanding of water, but it's the impact that it's had on us.
The tea coca tree, the rimurapa.
We had staff who went with Lana about the maramataka calendar, and we learned a lot more through, just...
It made sense.
A little bit more,
So what you were seeing happening in your centres with your kids, you could then relate to something that was bigger and outside, like overarching, and that made sense with some of the behaviours and things? Yeah. We haven't had a teaching aspect of the maramataka, and so for our students there's maybe a little bit of a disconnect there if they don't have a good understanding of the calendar and the different energies. But they are now more aware of that, and I certainly am.
What is so important for us is te ao Māori and also our environment. And I think sparking this interest and engagement in the tamariki and the fact that they want to be kaitiaki at all, and what that looks like at all different levels, is just so important. And if we leave it up to politicians and gross domestic product, te ao Māori and the environment will suffer, and we can't have tourism and a thriving tangata whenua if those things are depleted. So in sparking the interest in our tamariki for those further generations and just how engaged they are without being told them they should be engaged or telling them the doom and gloom side of it is just so vital, really, really vital.
Kia tau te roko mau te wāhi karo ki ruka i a tātou. Tēnei te ara ka hura, tamatea kai āriki ka puaki, moana tū ki te repo ka tūwhera. Paia kia mārama ki te pai whenua, ki te pai raki, ki te pai tāwhiti. Paia kia tata. Turakina te taupā, turakina ka patua. Kia piki te maramataka. Kaupapa kia eke panuku.
One time near to Puturepo, she went to pick some kanuka, was it? Yeah. And she got prickled. And she was like, why did that happen? And I'm pretty sure Tane said, because it's all about the balance. Yeah.
The raupo is an important piece of the lagoon's ecosystem.
The planting of the raupo that we did during Hikoitu is essential to clean the murky waters of the Waitarakao.
Right, so tamariki ma, ready for your paddles. He, ha, he, ha. And we are going to fall out of the waka. You ready, everybody? Yeah. Okay, so let's fall out of the waka. Getting really rough. Let's fall out. Woo! Whee! Okay, Maisie. Oh, makarere. Why?
Morena, tamariki wa. I'm here to talk to you guys about Kaitiakitaka in relation to the moana and the poharo at our last visit to Waitarakao. Kaitiakitaka is measuring, protecting and preserving our environment and resources for generations to come. Beforehand, I'd never visited Waitarakao. I hadn't seen what state it was in. And when I had gone there and I'd seen how polluted and broken the land was, and then being there and being a person that can help, I was very happy that I had the opportunity to do that.
The future of the lagoon is very important to wildlife and people around it. We should stand to protect and monitor it, not letting rubbish, factory smoke and dirty water and fluid that ends up in its catchment zone alter it. The future of the Waitarakao Washed-Duck Lagoon is placed in all of our hands. Being able to see, from the start, the lagoon at not a very good state, pretty poor, life and everything, and just slowly and like gradually like noticing small changes, seeing little like creatures in the water and like noticing a smell change and like everything else, like it makes you feel pretty like confident that it's gonna work.
I think we need to raise more awareness because none of us really knew about it until we learnt about it at school and then became involved with it here. So I think the more like schools teach it or the more awareness we can raise, the more people you will find will be interested and be able to help.
For me personally, before, it was just like a place in Timaru. I didn't even know it existed.
So like seeing it there and figuring out it existed was like kind of cool. Because I like never knew it was there. We just drove past it without knowing, and now it's like, wait, it's actually there. It's kind of
every time we drive past, I like look out and like and like see if there's any differences.
I'd like to see this place being a cultural significant place and a place where bird life and wildlife can find their habitat back here again, because it used to be a really significant place for wildlife as well as people.
We've certainly looked a lot more at the cultural side of things being part of this project, because previously in school we just researched like the scientific side and the impacts on climate change and human interference, that kind of thing. So I certainly learned a lot more about the cultural side of things.
I think it's cool to have all of these different age groups all together.
It spreads awareness over all year levels. It's not just the older ones or the younger ones, it's everyone.
I think it's very important for young children to get out there and, you know, interact with their environment instead of interacting with TikTok. But I'm not a hater on TikTok, I'm just saying, you know, I think it's better, more beneficial for them to be outside instead of inside on their phone.
Telling your friends, telling other people, just getting people to come down here in general would be really beneficial, because the more people notice it, the more there's likely a change to happen, I think.
Nothing's going to change if you sit there saying that you can't do anything, so you have to be the person to get up and make that stand and say, like, we need to do something different.
He mahi rakatira tēnei, I raro I tēnei hurika o te maramataka, he mahi āriki hoki. Nā reira tēnei te mihi tino miharo, tino hikaka hoki ki te whakaroko ki a koutou I tēnei wā.
I think it's become a lot more like a bigger thing than all of us thought it was. We kind of just thought it was get out of school, but like it's sort of turned into more of like actually doing something about it. And I think it kind of made us like a bit more hopeful.
The big question is, if you could wave a magic wand, what would your greatest wish for the Waitarakao be as a consequence of this year that we've spent together?
I mean, I would just wish for life to be able to exist there again. No rubbish, just having a place where people can go and enjoy themselves.
It'd be really cool to see it like replenished and birds actually going there again, and then like taking your family down and go bird watching or whatever, and like actually make use of it.
My wish would probably be for it to be a beautiful place where every plant, bird, animal can live and have a happy life.
There would be marine life coming in, a lot more marine life. There would be seaweed on the rocks. There would be a lot more plants. There'd be a lot more tuna.
I'd probably want the mud to turn into the water again, so like the animals can actually go into it.
I think the mud was really useful back then, but now that's been all covered up because they used to use it to make poo-poos and dye stuff, so I think that was a really good thing. So I hope one day we'll be able to discover that up and bring it back.
I want to come back and see plants, I want to see it thriving, I want to see the birds.
I would literally and get a whole bunch of people to come down and help out. Would my magic wand be able to just fix Waitarakao?
It'd be cool to see the meatworks area get removed. Could see some of that old building get removed, maybe something nicer being put there.
I would get rid of the factory so people won't put the rubbish in the water and everywhere else.
I would just stop the factories, tell people to pick up their rubbish and just stop polluting and do something about it.
It's kind of all of our problem. We've all contributed to this. We have all dropped some sort of plastic thing on the floor and lit it at some point in our life.
We need to clean up more. We need to just try our best to not create more damage to the earth.
I would get as many people down helping and planting and trying to make a change in the environment that we live in today.
The more people who are exposed to the idea of actually doing something, you will find people who won't just do it for the school trip, they'll actually want to continue doing it.
Personally, I would fix it straight away without any help, because the longer you leave it, the worse it's going to get. I feel like it's not worth leaving it too long until it's completely gone.
My magic wand would make everyone just wake up, realise that this is serious, people need to be making a difference, and if we don't do anything, it's just going to get worse.
Pura mai puaka, kia marakaraka I ka tahuaka kupeka te tau.
Morning everybody.
Morning.
Today we're going to do something that combines puaka and matariki. I will be talking to puaka and the atua that are involved with puaka at this time, and I'll also be addressing the mahi that has been done here, because that is about reigniting the Māori and hopefully restoring the old hapua Waitarakao here to a little bit of its former glory that it used to be here. Kei ata pō te timatanga, o te waiatatanga mai, a te atua.
My hope is that those kids will bring their parents and their brothers and their sisters if they got them. And as time goes on, if they still live here or they come back to visit here as adults, that they bring their children and all that and go. Before it looked like hell on earth, but now in that little corner there, you get a little bit of an inkling of what it used to look like.
Turi turi whakamaua kia tīna, tīna, haumi, hui e, taiki e.
Mai e, pohutukawa mai e, tara mai nuku mai e.
I'm very, very happy to nurture Kaitiakitaka in all its forms, giving them a space where they could connect, offering them some tools to navigate the space and contribute positively to it via the maramataka. I couldn't ask for much more than that.
Haume hui e!
Taiki e! E tū rangi, tā whiri mātea, pupuhi araru ana te rani.
It's a lovely experience and a lovely feeling to know that you're part of something, to know that you're able to do something, and to know that you are doing something to help the environment and, different resources for generations to come. That's a very lovely thing.
Matariki te tipua, matariki te tāwhito.
Well, you can make a big change if you actually get involved and do something. It meant for future generations, people would still be looking after it.
Sometimes I just felt like how lucky we were to actually be doing this.
Yeah, because not many schools do that.
It was really cool.
Hey, we actually made a difference doing this, and we actually helped our environment.
It's kind of sparked something in me, like I want to make a change, I want to make a difference. Just being a part of this, you can notice a difference, like I think that's really amazing. I'm still just really happy and proud that I was a part of this, and I don't think it's going to stop for me. I think I'm still going to keep going.
Ka heki ngā ngā roi mata o tarangi e pai, e tohu pai, ki rongi a mātou I ta atanei, nō reira huri no, let's get out of the rain, tēnā koutou, tēnā rā tātou katoa.
Unuhia, ki te uru tapu nui. Kia whātia, kia maramataka, kou te tinana te wairua. I te ara takata, koi ara e roko. Whakairia